You know the park is a little park right near the CVS and Fourth Street.
That's what our, that's what our kitchen cabinet kind of came up with.
Sun lives on Kenwood, which I think is a little farther down.
It's over by Campbell.
Yes.
Oh, okay, that's the other side of
Yeah, I'm just 5 blocks from you about that.
It's very handy.
No, the sense for your, we were actually, we'll use those to get you guys set up with offers and requests right now if you want us to help you with this software. That I just. Yeah, I think that's good. We're going to talk about I'm sorry. It happens a lot in my world.
I know you want this donut staring you in the middle eyes.
Look at the other team. And mark, set, go! No! Team, put your arms down. And mark, set, go! This is a group that thinks so.
You know, pet sitting. Over
How many hours does Stefan have for
70,000. I think Stefan actually has 78 hours from, you know, walking my dog and watching him for weekends. I could help someone by teaching them how to scrapbook. So any number of these. Oh, and I can also proofread for someone.
But not your profession, actually.
No, it could be your profession. I can't offer legal advice as part of my profession, so that is not something I can really offer. But because I work for a judge. No legal advice from me, but if you guys have job-related things you can do, if you like to knit and can make me a scarf, because I'm always cold in this Michigan winter, you know, something like that. Whatever, 3 things you can offer and 3 things you can request, and then we'll show you guys how what you can offer and request to each other is really very interconnected within your community. So grab a note card.
So put our names on here, right?
Sure.
Because otherwise, if we don't,
we'll have you introduce yourselves. In 3 things you can do and 3 things you need. Things about time banking is that it's, you know, you can really modify it to match your needs and your. Sweet, me too.
And I'm Leslie from Royal Oak, 13 and Maine. And okay, now I do an offer. Pet training, pet help. I volunteer at the Humane Society in the Behavior Division. I do the training and manners classes.
I can
for cats too.
A little bit farther along. You guys all know I'm Miriam. I'm the membership coordinator with Royal Oak. And another thing I can offer is proofreading or advice on cover letters and resumes.
Ooh. Oh, I can use that.
I just took a class on this.
She has practical experience. and she's where she wanted to be.
Okay, this is offers, right?
Yeah.
This is offers. I can offer cooking or drop off of groceries, food for someone that needs that.
Great. So we played this for a little bit, and I think that you guys can all see how all these strings kind of interconnect and how you can
decide, okay, it's 5 hours or whatever, then we would be in charge of entering it in the bank ourselves.
Yes, and we can show you
we
how
don't
to
turn it over to somebody.
With Facebook, it's a similar type. It's like Facebook and Craigslist kind of meshed
I would
together.
say that too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's kind of things that you're probably a little bit familiar with looking at, and once you learn it, it's very, very simple.
So then 10 hours is equal to 1 hour regardless of what it is.
Yes.
Walking a dog is equal to high level painting.
Yeah, we believe that every service is valuable to someone, and everyone has value, and everyone has abilities to, you know, perform these services. And we don't want to say, you know, your service is more valuable because you did, you mowed my lawn, and your service is less valuable because you only cooked me dinner, and you know, make those kind of value choices. That's not something that everything is valued equally.
There is a TimeBank in Portland, Maine. It has over 600 members, I believe, and I think they've traded like 60,000 hours just this year, and it equaled, I think, 24 hours a day. A third of their transactions are healthcare related. So they have doctors, but I mean,
that's not an option for our time banks,
acupuncturist,
because we're not under a hospital.
But yeah.
There's a lot of, unless we had some kind of relationship
They
with the
have
hospital.
doctors that are willing to offer their time. An hour is an hour, and you know, it's no matter what you do.
Do you go directly to the TimeBank, or do you search through the TimeBank's list of people in your community to find that person that offers those services?
People will post their offers,
Okay.
and so you can go in and see if anybody's offering that specific service. Or if nobody is, you can also just post a request and wait for somebody to reply to it if it's not urgent. Or also there's a profile, like a Facebook profile. You say your name and you can say something about yourself, like I am a paralegal that's, has experience with tool and die and like to do this and this and this. And then people can kind of get to know you, search you out, maybe look at your profile and say, even if you don't have something offered, they can say, well, I know she's good at this, so maybe I'll just call her up and see if she's willing to trade with me.
We explained a little bit like Facebook and Craigslist. You have your account, as Michelle was explaining, and we're all kind of listed almost like a phone book, kind of, there. And so you can look at each other that way. And there's also this marketplace that you have access to. There's like different tabs on your website screen, and we can show you all of this. And in the marketplace, you can post offers and requests, and you can also, there's another area where you can enter your time and keep track of that. You've been inundated yet? It'll probably be about as much as you've been hearing so far. We're toying in Royal Oak at least with, maybe the upcoming social event, some interesting things that have been going on in the TimeBank, and some pending offers and requests, or the new ones that have been filed recently. And it would probably be on like a monthly or so basis, and that would be about it. Otherwise,
we're not a request. We're not going to send out a blanket to everybody.
No, but if you post a request and someone responds to it,
Then
you
you will
get
get
an
an
email.
email.
I said if responds to it, then you get an email, so you don't have to constantly keep checking this account. It'll tell you when someone has responded to your offer or request.
Well, only if it's specifically to you.
I first heard about this through Metro Times with Lathrop Village. Sometimes it's only open to residents of Lathrop Village. I go, oh, power.
Yes, and we have one in Ferndale. We've actually restricted our membership to Ferndale. There are people in Oak Park wanting to start one up. So I'm thinking within the next year there'll be one starting.
I live a block away from Ferndale.
I know, and that's not many affiliations in Ferndale, because a lot of people consider themselves Ferndalians without actually living there.
I own the first 2 houses in Oak Park, Ferndale. I'm right on the border.
Right.
Royal Oak is slightly different in that respect. We restrict it to only residents of Royal Oak. Just because it's
And Huntington Woods.
yes, Royal Oak and Huntington Woods. Because Royal Oak is a little bit bigger and it's already kind of geographically large. Planning a major kickoff in January, and hopefully that'll get going. But right now, you can start an exchange with whoever's in there, and it may be very profitable for you, depending on what you need.
How many do you have in there now?
I want to say it's about 20.
How many does Ferndale have?
We have 36. Mm-hmm. And like she said, I mean, it's kind of amazing that even with small membership, we're kind of touching on this, but the Ferndale TimeBank currently offers like violin lessons, cleaning, dog walking, acupuncture. We offer fixes windows and screen repair. There's a locksmith. I mean, it's actually quite a variety of skills being offered.
Oh, sorry. I mean, can't there be interaction?
Well, to touch on that, Laura, we kind of talked on it.
More the merrier.
There's different time banks because it's a very community-based organization, and we're not saying that, like he said, you can start time banks everywhere. And so if there's a Oak Park, Hazel Park, Royal Oak, Ferndale time banks, we can work with each other. But we like to keep it community-driven. There's also like more safety features, just with kind of not allowing everybody to access your information.
Knowing the person who lives next door to you and across the street. And that's kind of one of the main values, is getting to know those right around your area that you've kind of lost touch with in this technology age. And so that's one of the reasons that it started as a very community thing. And then, the other thing is just to keep it somewhat manageable, and like Michelle said, for some safety reasons. A lot of people have concerns, letting someone in their house that they don't know to do a service, or, having them, I won't let anyone walk my dog without meeting me and my dog first, for example. And some people have some child care related issues, which is another legal issue we can touch on later if that's something that you're considering. And having it more limited so that you can start to get to know the people within the TimeBank or so that they have references from other people that you know within the TimeBank or within your community. It makes it a little bit more safe and approachable for a lot of people.
And we kind of used example earlier, like Royal Oak and Ferndale has, are separate because somebody from, that's living up on 14 Mile doesn't exactly want to drive down to like 8 mile or 8.5 mile to walk somebody's dog,
It's sharing services, you can get married in the TimeBank.
The catering, all the dress was made, the flowers, everything was done.
We're not there yet, but
No.
No, I think the idea is great, it's just sharing.
Since this is community driven, you're probably trying to stay away from doing things like background checks and stuff like that. And I recognize that that's one of the reasons you don't want to have it open to everybody, everywhere. But what about for instance, construction projects? You mentioned a locksmith. There's some legality there. And I'm curious how that's handled. If somebody needs a roof repaired, does the repairee need to be licensed?
Do not have that currently because we haven't really opened to members, so
Okay.
it's incredibly cost prohibitive without having a membership base. Probably around the beginning of the year we'll be looking into purchasing some of that, and that will cover some of that.
Okay.
We also fully encourage everyone to have homeowners insurance, apartment insurance, vehicle insurance, and we would caution you to do say you want to drive someone somewhere and they don't have a driver's license or insurance, we would caution you not to get in that car. With a licensure, in terms of healthcare, there are certain legal limits there, and we can't have someone providing or administering medicine to someone else, certain HIPAA things, and I know some of them. I don't have a complete list yet, but a lot of that we keep off the list. Child care, there's some requirements that some insurance requirements. If you're providing a daycare type service, they would need to have their own insurance on top of the TimeBank insurance, just because of how that some of the issues there. In terms of something like a locksmith, where there isn't really, there may be like licensure or certification, but it's not a legal requirement. We do not require anyone to have any of that type stuff, and we would ask the members to talk with each other about what services they wanted to be performed, how they want the end result to look like,
The proficiency.
the person's proficiency, to see if there's a good match there. And we kind of analogize this to, when you're looking for a doctor in your community, you're going to talk to your neighbors, your friends, and say, oh, who's a good doctor, who do you know, what do you know about this person? You can see maybe who's exchanged with whom and whether it was a good trade or not. You can also talk to the cabinet, and we may be able to point you in the right direction.
Is there moderators, I assume, who might flag something as, this is a little bit beyond the services that we need to be offering, that kind of stuff?
There will be people who are called brokers or matchmakers or something like that, depending on the TimeBank, and they'll kind of keep an eye on what's posted and what's offered and what's requested to see if some people are just missing each other. There's an offer for dog walking and there's a request for dog walking, and we'll send them both an email and say, hey, look, here's someone who can fill your need.
As a moderator of the Ferndale TimeBank, I see every offer and every request and every transaction that goes through the system. So yeah, we do keep an eye on it and make sure.
Are you, do you get credit?
See if anyone is interested in joining, hand out the applications, and go over the website with you. We can arrange a second meeting to go over the website with you. It's much easier for us to kind of show you in person if you're interested in joining, and I can grab coffee with you in an evening and take 20 minutes to do it or something like that. But you are more than welcome to fill out the application now.
I called them and he called me out. But
female group?
Yeah.
I was going to.
I think I did. I think we were talking about.
They look good.
It's huge.
They're
Yes, yes.
And I just don't want to keep dismantling it.
One more announcement. We'll be having our first social event on December 12th at my house. The address is on the back of this card. It's just going to be a potluck for holidays.
Postcard, and it has my address and
The Michigan Alliance of Whenever she finds someone that's interested
can we
in
take an
TimeBank,
application?
And then we can always make a copy.
We can always
and then you can just mail them to, that's my address right there.
Okay.
Just mail them to
Okay.
It's probably right around the corner, so what's
That's just what our kitchen cabinet kind of came up with.
son lives on Kenwood, which I think is a little farther down.
It's over by Campbell.
Yeah, it's
Oh, okay,
it's
that's
a
the
little bit
other
past
side of
Kenwood.
Yeah, I'm just 5 blocks from you. No, this says for your, we were actually, we'll use those to get you guys set up with offers and requests right now if you want us to help you with that software.
Definitely, I would. And